Hello, everyone, and welcome into another edition of Card Sharks. I'd like to thank one of my moderators for the MVG Productions channel, Miss Erica Saraceno, for today's opening poem. But remember, if you'd like to leave an opening poem for the show, leave it in the comment section below. Now, on with today's game. Don't you fret if you have a 7 or an 8. Win the question and change your fate on Card Sharks.
This is the game where a single turn of the card can win you up to $32,000 in cash. Now, here's your host, the star of Card Sharks, Brandon Scrub.
Welcome in once again to another edition of Card Sharks here at MVG Productions. Glad you could join us here once again. Well, we've kicked off the season and unfortunately did not have the great success that we wanted to kick off our season here, but we're going to see if we can turn things around with our contestants here, starting with our current champion, who became a champion on our last show, defeated our champion from the previous season. So far, he only has $1,000 to his credit, but he's looking to add a lot more to that here today. Please welcome back Mr. Jason Myers.
That's it.
Glad to have you back here, Jason. What happened with you last time on the money cards there?
I don't know. Did you see the ashes backstage? That's what happened.
I felt like something got blown up or kicked around back there. But have you ready to go see if you can try to bounce back from that today?
Yeah, please.
Well, good luck to you. We'll see how you do as you take on your first opponent here on this episode of Card Sharks. Coming to us from the great state of Ohio, please welcome in Mr. Kevin Henry.
Good evening, or whatever time we're airing this in.
Yeah, this is morning time for most of the people out there that are watching this. But how are you doing, Kevin?
I'm doing fantastic, Brandon. Great to see you again.
Yes, glad to have you aboard here on Card Sharks. Kevin, as you know, is the new host of our will be the new host of our second season of Card Sharks. That'll be airing here very shortly on the channel. So some surprises in store for that season there. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. Kevin, tell the folks at home a little bit more about yourself, sir.
Well, with all due respect, as much as I love you, Brandon, I'm going to call you out the way you called me out during one of our tapings. I'm actually going to be hosting Gold Rush, not Card Sharks.
Wow. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Genuinely, it's like, this is the point what happens when we get late in a recording day, and my brain wants to be like, I'm in bed now. I'm going to go to sleep. Night, night.
That's fantastic. What goes around comes around. Don't forget that.
Yes, I'm well aware of this fact, but it's okay. I'm human. I make mistakes. I just try to make up for it more often than
That's
not.
right. You do a hell of a job. But to answer your question, for anyone who's been in outer space and has no idea who I am, I'll tell you right now. I'm 36. I'm from the great state of Ohio, nearby Cincinnati. I'm a truck driver by day, game show enthusiast by night. I have my own YouTube channel, WKPH Cincinnati, with which Brandon has an sharing interest.
That's well, fantastic. Well, glad to have you aboard here. You've been helping out with your channel. Now let's see if you can help yourself out with some cash from mine. You ready to go?
Well, I got to get paid somehow, and what better way to do it than by the three of us getting together again, Brandon, Jason, and me.
Fantastic. Well, let's get right into it. Let's play our game of Card Sharks.
So good.
Okay, now you need to get out of my head, sir. Seriously.
See, this is how good we are as hosts and contestants. We know what each other's thinking.
More often
Strap
than
yourselves in, folks.
This is going to be a long game. I already sense it between the two of you. Best of luck to you. Let's play some Card Sharks here. As you know, you each have your own deck of cards that you're trying to call higher or lower as you work your way across the board to win the game. Remember, it takes 2 games to win the match and pick up yourself $1,000 in cash to go on to our money cards for a possible chance at another $32,000. As always, we get started here on Card Sharks with the first question going to our reigning champion, and that is you, Jason. Jason, we asked 100 people, Have you ever been able to solve a Rubik's Cube? How many of those 100 people said yes, they have been able to solve a Rubik's Cube?
The real question is, how complicated did they make it before they solved it?
Probably completely random.
Yeah, because if we're talking like only 10 twisted turns, then it's too easy. But if we're talking about hundreds upon hundreds, you're probably looking on the low side of that. So I'll say about 25.
25 of 100 of them said they have been able to solve their own Rubik's Cube. Kevin, higher or lower than 25?
You know, I've never figured out a Rubik's Cube, and I've watched those guys on YouTube. You ever seen those guys who, like, can solve a 3x3 in, like, 5 seconds? Those are the craziest.
Yeah.
I'm like, their brain works in ways that I wish mine would
Right.
at some point in time.
But the question at hand is, have they actually just solved it? It doesn't matter at the time, whether it's 5 seconds or 5 days. I think it's a little higher.
I'm going to say it's a little higher than that. All right,
Not by much.
If the answer is higher, Kevin, you'll be playing your cards first. If not, Jason will be playing his cards. The actual number of people who have been able to solve their own Rubik's Cube before is 35. It is just slightly higher.
Well, then.
All right, Kevin, that means you're going to get control of your cards first, as always. We'll take a look at your opening base card for this game. It's a king.
Like that. I will go just a smidge lower.
Just a smidge, he says. So he's looking for a queen or a jack. Lower than a king. Oh, it's an 8 right up the middle.
Well, I got it right at least. And I cannot give Jason that easy access this early on. I'm freezing.
Okay, going to freeze on the 8 there, taking the 2-card advantage over Jason right now and keeping him away from his cards. As we go on to question number 2 for this round, this one goes to you, Kevin.
Yes,
Kevin,
sir.
we asked 100 people, have you ever had the whim to dance in the rain? How many people said yes, they have had the whim to dance in the rain?
Just to be clear, we're talking men and women, just people
Yes.
in general.
Yeah,
Okay.
people in general on this one. Mm-hmm.
Dancing in the rain. Well, in 36 years of life, I have personally never danced in the rain. I don't know a lot of people who have. And if they do, they have no life. Or they took a page right out of Shawshank Redemption, although Tim Robbins wasn't really dancing either.
I was thinking more along the lines of like Gene Kelly from Singing in the Rain.
Right. But that's still old school. I mean, we're talking way back when before any of us were even thought of. So in this day and age, I would say it's not as popular a deal as it might have been back then. So with that said, I will say 33.
33 out of 100 people said they've had the whim to dance in the rain. Jason, higher or lower than 33?
Maybe for the normies, but for the people that are just outright nuts, a little bit higher.
I'm going to say higher than that. All right, let's see. The actual number of people who said they have had the whim to dance in the rain is 63, is way higher. Nearly two out of every 3 people have been outside dancing in the rain.
Excuse me while I go dance in the rain.
I myself have done the same as well at some point in time, but that's okay. Jason, we're over to you. We'll take a look at your starting base card for this match. It's a king.
I swear, if this next card is an 8, I'm gonna call bullshit. Lower.
Lower than the king. It's a 9.
Now see. You know what? I'll chance it and go lower than that.
All right, risk it on. Lower than the 9. No, it's a king. So you lose those 2 cards there, giving Kevin a free shot to play off the 8.
I'll try higher.
Going on higher than the 8. It's a jack.
Lower.
Lower than the jack. It's a 9.
Freeze.
Freezing right there. Only needing 1 more card there to win first game of the match. Jason still stuck on his base card of a king.
He's shaking over there.
A little bit, maybe. We'll see. Third question goes to our champ, Jason. Jason, we asked 100 people, do you consider yourself ticklish? How many of 100 people said yes, they are ticklish?
Good thing I'm not one of those 100 people, because I wouldn't admit it even if I was. I'd say about 60.
60 out of 100 said they are consider themselves ticklish. Kevin, higher or lower than 60?
Lower.
I'm going to say lower than that. Let's see. Well, the actual number of people who said they are ticklish is 68. It is hot. Lower. It's higher.
Okay.
All right, Jason. Good job there. You were going to control with the king. What would you like to do?
Lower.
Going on. Lower than the king. It's a jack.
Lower.
Lower than the jack. It's a 4.
Higher.
Going on. Higher than the 4. It's a king.
Lower.
For game 1 of the match and $1,000 bonus for sweeping the board. Lower than the king. It's a 6. He's got it. Well done, sir. Congratulations. A full sweep of all 5 cards in a single turn not only gets you the game for $500, also gets you a $1,000 bonus for sweeping it. So you just won yourself $1,500 there. Well done.
More money put towards my card. Thank you.
Right, absolutely. And more importantly, now you're up 1 game to nothing. Kevin's going to try to play catch up here. And so clear the board out and go on to game number 2 there, with the next cards off the top of your deck, respectively. And we start game number 2 with a question to Kevin on this one.
Okay.
Kevin, we've asked 100 people, have you ever ran 1 mile? How many of 100 people said yes, they have ran 1 mile?
Oh, I gotta think that's a high number because a lot of us were required to do that in gym class. The only ones, to my recollection, that didn't do it were the ones who were like goth chicks and the ones who were excused from their mother for having a peanut allergy. So, but that's got to be a high number. I mean, especially considering a lot of kids, whether they actually pursued it as a profession or not, played athletics in school, that's got to be a high number. I would go with 75.
75 out of 100 people said they have ran a mile before. Jason, higher or lower than 75?
It also depends on which 100 people were asked this, so I'll say a touch lower.
I'll say a touch lower than that. Well, considering the day and age where fitness seems to be like a top priority for a lot of folks, I wouldn't be surprised to see what the answer is, but let's take a look. The actual number of people who said they have ran 1 mile before is 62. It is lower. So nearly 3 out of every 5 people have done it here. So, okay. Interesting choice. All right, Kev. Jason, you won that question. That means we're going to start with you. Your base card for this game, an ace.
Nice. Love it. Lower.
Go on lower than the ace. It's a 6.
Freeze it.
Gotta freeze it there. All right, taking the advantage for yourself this time, keeping the control away from Kevin. We got a question 2 now. This one's for you, Jason.
Okay.
We asked 100 people, do you consider yourself old? How many of those 100 people say yes, they do consider themselves old? And I seem like I'm talking to the appropriate people of our group here for this particular question here.
Yep, I feel it every day when I wake up. I feel it when I'm at work. But age-wise, that's another thing. So, as far as considering myself old and these 100 some odd people, whatever, I'll say 53.
I'm going to say 53 out of 100 said they do consider themselves old. Kevin, higher or lower than 53?
I'll be the first to admit I've done that. And it drives people crazy like my son, who tells me that I have to be at least 40 to be old. So sorry for those of you who are that age, Jason. I'm sure people do. I agree with Jason on that front. So I'm actually going to go, oh, gee whiz. Let's go lower.
I'm going to say lower than that.
I know it doesn't match my logic, but still.
It really depends on what you're looking at and what you're doing, if you consider yourself old or not. It's still different things on every case. But let's see. The actual number of people who do consider themselves old is 20. It's way lower.
Hello.
I guess a lot of people consider themselves still young in both body, mind, and maybe soul. Who knows? All right, Kevin, you've got control of the cards here, sir. Let's take a look at your base card for this game. We start you off with a 4.
Let's go higher.
Higher than the 4. No, it's a 2. You lose that card there. So that means, Jason, you get a free chance to play off the 6.
Higher.
Higher than the 6. It's a 7.
Yeah, no, freeze it.
Gonna freeze it right there. Okay. So that puts Jason now with 3 cards out. Kevin still only has 1 at this point. We'll go on to question number 3 for this one, and this one goes back to Kevin on this one. Kevin, we asked 100 people, do you consider yourself the center of attention? How many of those 100 people said yes, they do consider themselves the center of attention?
Well, if you asked everybody in this group, I would say close to 100. But the exception, of course, being me, of course.
Really? Wait, I've known you too long. That is the exact opposite.
Bullshit step in 3, 2, 1, and there it is.
There it is.
What can I say? I'm a ham. You figured me out. Of course, you had me figured out long before tonight.
Ham, more like ham, turkey, chicken, pork. I mean, you go all the way down the meat counter at that point.
100 people, center of attention. Oh gosh. When you ask these questions, I think about this day and age. Where in this day and age, it's such a ridiculous thing with how socially awkward we are, virus or not. And I would venture to say that if you asked me this question 30 years ago, the number would be higher than the number I'm about to give you. But I'm going to be a very nice guy and give Jason the good old-fashioned coin flip, 50.
50, right up the middle there. All right, Jason, higher or lower than 50?
After all that, I forgot what the survey question was.
Yeah, the survey, we asked 100 people, do you consider yourself the center of attention? How many of them said yes?
I'll say lower.
You're going to say lower than that. Well, we'll just see. The actual number of people who consider themselves the center of attention is 44. It is just slightly lower. Jason with the correct guess, and you've got control of the card, sir, with a 7. How do you want to play it?
Change that 7.
You won the questions. You have the right to change your base card there. We'll change it with the next one off the top of the deck. That 7 now becomes a queen.
Much better. Lower.
Going on lower than the queen. It's an 8 up the middle.
Fuck that. Freeze that.
He's not today. He's like, not today, Lucy. Not today.
I think
All
the
right.
sensor's blowing up.
Yes. Awesome there. So we got 4 cards for you, needing 1 more to win the round. Kevin's still stuck on his base card. And with our 4th and final question of the round, someone must win on this play of the cards. Question goes to you, Jason. Jason, we asked 100 people, do you believe in magic? How many do?
Sing it, baby, sing it.
I believe in magic and I hope you do too. It's magic. I'm not good at making up lyrics. Anyways.
That's okay. That's what our improv game, Wheel of Ill Will, is all about. So.
Right. As far as people believing in magic, this day and age, I don't think that many do because there's really not that many secrets left in magic. So I'll say about 21.
I say 21 out of 100 people say they believe in magic. Kevin, higher or lower than 21?
Oh, that's crap. I'm going higher.
I say higher than that. All right. The actual number of people who say they still do believe in magic is 45. It is way higher.
Well, then.
It's way higher than I thought it was going to be there. So, all right. Kevin, you're in a very tough situation here, sir. You have a 4 on your base card. You need to go all the way across the board in order to tie up the match. Jason, however, only needs 1 card left in order to win the game and the matchup, but he's got an 8 and he's stuck with it. So the option's yours, sir. You want to play it or you want to pass it?
It's not a tough decision, really, considering the best odds that I really have and the way my luck's been going in this game makes it pretty well easy for me to decide this one. Very simply, I gotta pass.
I'm going to pass it. All right. Jason, that means the call is yours. You are stuck with that 8 up the middle. Call it right. You win the game and the match. And going on to the money cards, you call it wrong, however. Kevin ties it up where we go to sudden death.
Let's see. I've seen a 6. I've seen a 7. I've seen an 8. We've seen 2 high cards, so hopefully the next card is higher.
For the game and the match, to play on the money cards higher than an 8. No, it's a 2, and Kevin ties it up.
Well done.
See, I do believe in magic.
That he does. All right, well done there, Kevin. $500 for you. You have tied up the match. So that means we're going to go to a sudden death tiebreaker, but we're going to do that right after this commercial break. Stay tuned, guys. More Card Sharks on the way.
Did you?
Welcome back here to Card Sharks. Here are all tied up between Jason and Kevin here. Both have won one game. Each got $500. And now we're at our sudden death tiebreaker round. Here, one question decides who gets control of the cards, and then it's the decision of that player. So, control very important. And in sudden death, the question always goes to our champion. Jason, we asked 100 people, can you speak more than one language? How many of 100 people said yes, they can speak more than one language?
Oui, mais je ne parle pas bien. C'est pas bien. That's 2 of them. I'm not even going to go through the rest because it'll be here forever. But I don't imagine that many people out there can. So I'll say 48.
48 out of 100 people said they can speak more than one language. Kevin, higher or lower than 48?
Oh, Jiminy Christmas. How many can speak more than one language? This is just people in general again, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, if it's not Spanish, then it's sign language. Or French.
I was going to say the universal sign language doesn't count.
Actually, it was counted as a language all itself. I know because I've learned it.
No, not traditional sign language. The universal sign language.
Oh,
universal in quotes.
Well, all I can say in that case is I'm glad Jason's not seeing what I'm doing as far as universal sign language goes right now.
Oh. I'm glad we're not on camera at this point.
You better believe it. So, you wanted a good show, we're giving you a good show. I will say higher.
You're going to say higher than that. All right, the actual number of people who said they can speak more than one language is 37, is not higher.
Oh,
all right, Jason, you get the option here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you each of your base cards. Then you will decide if you want to play it or if you want to pass it to Kevin. Remember, if you decide to play, you can change your base card because you won the questions. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at Kevin's base card first. He has a queen. Your base card is a 3. The option's yours. You want to play it or you want to pass it?
I'll play it.
Gonna play it. All right, do you want to change to 3?
No.
All right, call both cards correctly. You remain as champion. Make one mistake, and Kevin becomes our new champion.
Please, higher.
Higher than the 3. It's a 10.
Lower.
For the game, the match to retain as champion, lower than 10. No, it's a queen, and Kevin is our new champion.
Yes, sir. I finally beat Jason at something.
Congratulations, sir. You have $1,000 for you, and you're going on to the money cards here in just a minute. Jason, we got to say goodbye to you, but you're not leaving here empty-handed, sir. You got $1,500 from this game, so you're going to be leaving us here for a grand total of $2,500. Well done, sir. Congratulations.
I thought I was a fan of Natty Nightheart. Now I'm not so sure.
Oh, I see.
Come here, give me a hug. Quit running away. Give me a hug. Come here. Oh, I love you, man. Nice big hug, buddy.
I need a wheelchair.
It'll be okay. Medic for Jason, please. We'll help him off stage. We thank you for playing, sir. We have some nice party gifts for you, along with the cash and everything. We'll hopefully have you back later on this season. All right.
Hopefully.
Give it up for Jason Byers, ladies and gentlemen, right there.
Good game, brother.
And
myself off set now.
yes. And with that, Kevin, you've got yourself $1,000. You ready to go see if you can add some more as we play the money cards?
Let's do it.
All right, let's play those big money cards. All right, money card time for you. Here's how we're going to do it. We start you on the bottom, as always, with $200 in new betting money. You're going to work your way across the bottom row, betting minimum bets of $50, till you get up to the second row, where we'll give you an additional $400 and 3 more cards. You work your way across that middle row, and then you'll get all the way to the top, where our big bet card waits, where you must bet at least half your winnings. And remember, you could change one card on each of the levels throughout the game. And if you can do a perfect double, double, double all the way to the top of the board, you're going to win our top prize of $32,000. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, a lot of money on the line. I want to see somebody win something, because we've had 2 attempts at the money card so far. Not a dime has been won yet. So let's change it here with you today. You ready?
Well, considering I love being the center of attention, let's do it.
All right, let's deal out those cards. Let's give them your fresh $200 in betting money. And let's see where we're going to start off with. Your opening base card for this one is a 9.
All right. Let's change it. Go with number 1, please.
All right, changing it with number 1. That 9's now going to become a jack. A little bit better.
Okay, let's try a leadoff home run. All of it lower.
Betting the farm on the jack. $200. Lower than the jack. It's a 6. You're up to $400.
Let's get that Loch Ness monster out of here early and go 350 higher.
All right, giving up his $350, saying higher than the 6. It's a king.
All of it lower.
Betting it all, $750. Lower than the king. It's an 8. Well done. $1,500 for that snowman. We move him up to the next row so he doesn't melt, and give you an additional $400 as well. Up to $1,900 and an 8. What do you want to do?
The 8 is the snowman, and number 2 is the sun, if you get my meaning.
All right, he's going to melt the snowman away, and instead we're going to find a 2.
Is that all?
That's all. That's all I can give you.
I'm very disappointed. So you're just going to have to pay me more. All of it higher.
Betting the farm, $1,900. Higher than the 2. It's a 6. $3,800.
Let's go. Let's see. Oh, this is tough because I've only seen one low card. I don't want to do this, but I'm going to. I'll play a conservative. 800 higher.
Okay, fair enough. $800 higher than the 6.
I just don't like that.
It's a queen.
Nice.
Go. $4,600 now on a great card.
4,400 lower.
Big bet on the queen. $4,400. If you get this, you'll be up to $9,000 if this is lower than a queen. It's a 7. Nicely done. That 7 now moves up to the big bet line. You have $9,000. Do you want to change it?
Yes, please, if you don't mind. Give me that ace.
All right, last card that is up there. Hopefully it's a 2 or an ace. We love to see it. That your big bet card is another 7. Big bet time. You must bet at least $4,500 on this one.
Again, I have not seen many low cards, but then again, they're 2-6. Oh, boy, this is tough. This is almost a literal 50-50. You're going to have to pay out more than a dime this time. I'm sorry to break that news to you. Let's save me a couple thousand. Let's go $7,000, and I will go lower.
Okay, $7,000 lower than the 7. If you're right, you're walking out of here with $16,000. If you're wrong, you drop into $2,000. $7,000 lower than the 7. It's a 2. He's got it. Whoop! Nicely done. $16,000 added to what you won, sir. You have a grand total now of $17,000. And you're a champion. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right, stick around, Kevin. We're going to play another opponent when we come back with more Card Sharks right after this. Welcome back here to Card Sharks. Kevin has amassed a very big total so far. $17,000 from that last game. Well done, sir.
Thank you.
All right, well, let's see what you do. If you can add some more to it as you meet your next opponent now. Please welcome in his opponent for this one, Mr. Lawrence McNeil.
Hey,
Hi.
how y'all doing tonight?
Well, sir. Lawrence, how you doing tonight?
For having me on, Brandon. How you doing?
Doing well, sir. Remind the good folks at home a little bit about yourself.
I'm 23, Michigan. I love game shows, and I work part-time at a thrift store. And hopefully, if I win today, well, I mean, I'm ahead, you know. Well, it'll be an interesting matchup. Let's see how it ends.
All right, well, best of luck to you. Let's see if we can really do some damage here for you and get you some money. Let's get into our game of Card Sharks here with our first question going to our champion, Kevin.
Go Buckeyes.
All right, Kevin, we asked 100 people. We asked 100 adults on this question. 100 adults. Can you name all the planets in our solar system? How many of those 100 people were able to name all the planets in our solar system?
Well, we're talking about adults here, and that one mnemonic that the teachers all taught us growing up, I'm very sure stuck with us all these years. My very own mother just made us 9 pizzas. I would say a lot of people still remember that mnemonic, and more than not, I will go with 65.
65 people said the adults were able to name all the planets in our solar system. Lawrence, higher or lower than 65?
Well, I would say just a tad bit higher because I mean, lots of people should remember the solar system, and lots of parents teaching their child how to get to teach the solar system. Just a little bit higher.
Okay, he says a little bit higher. Let's see what it is. The actual number of people who said an actual number of adults who were able to name all the planets in our solar system is 57. It's not higher. Just a little lower.
In the ballpark.
Yeah, you're pretty close on that guess. And Kevin, with that right one, you can control the cards for us. Let's take a look at your base card for this game. Start you off with, oh look, another snowman.
Frosty the Snowman gets melted right now because I'm going to change this card and I'm going to try and beat Lawrence.
All right, changing that 8. That 8 now becomes...
That was terrible, wasn't it?
a king. No, that's okay. It was all right. I'm trying to change. I'm just trying to get the cards off the deck over here, so you keep singing. That's all right.
Fair enough. I mean, when did we go from Card Sharks to who?
What was that, Johnny?
I was just saying, but don't quit your day job, Kevin.
Oh my God! I was about to say nobody knows.
If it wasn't for my day job, Bergie, you'd be homeless, hungry, and naked.
Oh, Lord.
I'll tell you what, that sounds like a couple of parties I went to in college. But anyway,
That doesn't surprise me at this point. Hi,
What-
Kevin.
We've gone from Card Sharks to Whose Line Is It Anyway to the Jerry Springer Show. Let's
yeah,
get back on point and go
oh,
low.
Lord.
Oh,
Let's
Lord.
try it lower than the king.
Yes,
Have
lower,
a
please.
5.
Higher.
Higher than the 5. Oh, no, a 2. That's not going to work. You lose both those cards, giving Lawrence a free chance to play his base card, a 6.
Higher.
Higher than the 6. It's a king.
Lower.
We're on lower than the king. It's a 7.
Freeze.
And a freeze right there, taking the 2-card advantage to play away from Kevin. As we go to question number 2 for this round, this one goes to Lawrence. Lawrence, we asked 100 people, do you think people who've claimed to seen UFOs are crazy? How many of those 100 people said yes, people who claim to have seen UFOs are crazy?
Well, I mean, trust me. I definitely don't know anybody who actually seen UFOs. Remember, I hear lots of people say, hey, come out here. Look, that spacecraft. I'll be like, what am I talking about? So, I'll go a little high, actually. Actually, to be completely honest, let's go with 55.
55 of 100 people said that people who claim to see UFOs are crazy. Kevin, higher or lower than 55?
Well, this is one thing you've probably never known about me, Brandon, because we've never talked about this in my recollection. I'm actually not a skeptic.
Yeah. I tend to agree with you because I'm like this. In my opinion, this universe is way too big for us to be the only living and intelligent beings in it.
I've always believed that. My belief is simply that there's no extraterrestrial life in this galaxy, but I believe there is in other galaxies. That's what I believe.
I agree.
And so, therefore, I'm not a skeptic. And I'm not even a skeptic when it comes to Travis Walton's story. But in terms of calling someone crazy, the question was how many people said that someone who's seen a UFO, those people think they're crazy.
Yes, we asked 100 people. Do you think people who claim to have seen UFOs are crazy? How many of them said yes, they were?
I don't think there's that many who are skeptics, so I'm going to say lower.
I'm going to say lower than that. All right, let's see. The actual number of people who say people who have seen UFOs are crazy is 43. It is just slightly lower. Nearly half of them, though, which is quite fascinating there. All right, Kevin, you're back in control. You still have a king.
I still like that king. Let's try it again and go lower.
Lower than the king. It's a 6.
I hope I don't get burned twice. I'll try it again. Higher?
Trying higher than the 6. Oh, no! He did get burned twice on that with a 4. Back card for this. That means, Lawrence, you get a free chance with your 7.
Jeez. Lower.
Come on, against the odds. Lower than the 7. It's a 2!
It worked. Higher.
For game 1 of the match of $500. Higher than the 2. It's a 7. He's got it. Nicely done, sir. $500 for you. You jump out to a 1-game lead. Kevin's going to try to play catch up here as we deal out the cards for our next round here. Again, remember, if you see what's been played, it's going to help you call your next cards. And we start round 2 with our second player. Lawrence, this first question is for you. We asked 100 married men on this one. Would you share your wife with a friend as like an Eskimo custom? How many of 100 married men said yes, they would share their wife with a friend?
Welcome to the dirty version of Card Sharks.
Well, I mean, to be honest, let's go lap that in the middle, 50.
50, right up the middle there. Kevin, higher or lower than 50?
Oh, gosh. Sharing lower.
I'll say lower than that.
Unless you're John Bergman.
Well, that depends on which one of his wives it was, but that's a whole different story. The actual number of men who would share their wife with their friend as per the Eskimo tradition is 16. It is way lower. Glad to see there is at least a little bit of hope and care out there in the world. Kevin, you've got control of the cards. Let's take a look at your base card for this second game here. Start you off with a 5.
Oh. I'll try it again. Higher.
Going on. He's got to find a high card in there somewhere. Higher than a 5. Oh, no!
You gotta
Are
be
you
kidding
serious me? These cards are being brutal to you today. Lawrence, you get a free chance to play your card. Your base card is a 6.
Oh, great. Fond memories. Higher.
Say higher than the 6. Oh, no! A 5 for you.
Jeez.
Both players starting off with rough base cards there, not giving themselves a chance here. Let's see what happens as we go to question number 2. This one goes to Kevin. Kevin, we asked 100 psychiatrists. Generally, does watching soap opera characters help solve their problems to help a woman make the same decisions in real life? How many of those 100 psychiatrists said yes, generally watching soap opera characters solve their problems, help a woman make the same decisions in real life?
A Jeff Foxworthy redneck joke.
Yes, I totally see where you could go with that on this one.
I'm going to say 30.
Say 30.
Yeah, because I think there are a couple of quacks out there.
Let's say soap opera can help women make proper decisions in their life. Okay, Lawrence, higher or lower than 30?
Higher.
I'm going to say higher. Well, let's see. I'm curious to see what the answer is on this one. The actual number of psychiatrists who say that generally watching soap opera characters solve their problems help women make the same decisions in their real life is 31. It is just 1 point higher.
Jeez.
So there went that $1,000 bonus.
Yep, 1,000. Yeah, if you get it answered right on the nose there, it is a $1,000 bonus this season here. Lawrence, you got away with us by stealing that one. You've got yourself a 6. What do you want to do?
That 6 makes me itch, so let's get rid of that.
All right,
And let's dig a ditch.
All right,
And give it a
changing that
6.
6, and then now that 6 becomes another 6.
Can't get anything there, but higher.
Hey, higher than the 6. It's a 7.
Yeah, making some progress, but not too much. Higher.
Going on higher than the 7. No, 2. You lose those 2 cards there, giving Kevin a free chance to play off his 5.
Well, when it comes to this game, Brandon, I no longer believe the 3rd time is the charm because it has not worked. Let's try it. The 4th time is the charm. Higher!
Higher than a 5. It's a queen.
Lower!
Lower than the queen. It's a 7.
Freeze!
Freezing right there. Finally getting off the starting blocks there. Kevin picked up 2 cards, needing 2 cards to win this game. Lawrence still stuck on his base card. We go to question number 3 now. This one goes to Lawrence.
All right.
Lawrence, we asked 100 bachelors, could you make a decent meal from what's in your refrigerator right now? How many of those 100 bachelors said yes, they could make a decent meal from what's in their refrigerator right now?
Well, depending on what the heck these 100 bachelors got in their refrigerator. I'll say it's a pretty above average number. So, 62.
62 out of the 100 said they could make a decent meal from what's in their refrigerator right now. Kevin, higher or lower than 62?
Lower, way lower.
You say lower than that. Well, let's see. The actual number of bachelors who said they could make a decent meal from what's in their refrigerator right now is 85 of them. It's not lower.
They're lying.
I bet you a lot of them order from companies like Blue Apron that do the home delivery ingredients, so they could probably do meals and things like that. It's possible nowadays. So
You're right. It is possible.
I don't deny that number at all in this case. All right, Lawrence, you've got control of the cards, sir. You've got that 6. What do you want to do?
I did it once and it got worse, but would the 3rd time be the charm? Change it.
All right, got to change that 6. Hopefully it gets a better card this time. That 6 now becomes A 4, a little bit better.
Thankfully, higher.
Going higher than the 4. It's a 5.
Oh boy, not this again. Higher.
Going on higher than the 5. It's a 7.
Oh boy. Here we go again. Lower?
Risking
Lower.
it against the odds. Lower than the 7. No, with the jack, you lose. You lose all the way back to the base card there, giving Kevin a free chance to play with his 7.
One hasn't heard of freezing. I'll go higher.
Higher than the 7. It's a jack.
Lower.
To tie up the match, lower than a jack. That's a 6. He's done it. There we go. Well done. Another $500 for you, Kevin. Brings you up to $17,500 now. Both men now all tied up again. 1 game apiece. That means we're going to have to go into sudden death to see who's going to get a chance to go to the money cards. So let's go ahead and deal those cards out. Remember, 3 cards apiece, only 1 question in this round, so this will determine who gets it. And the question, as always, goes to our champion, Kevin. Kevin, we asked 100 inmates, if presented the perfect opportunity to escape, would you make a break for it? How many of those 100 inmates said yes, they would make a break for it?
How many would make a break for it?
Yes, if presented the perfect opportunity to escape, would you make a break for it?
Some would. I'm going to say 60.
60 of them would try and make a break for it. Lawrence, higher or lower than 60?
Trust me, if an inmate had perfect opportunity and they didn't have it, I would say they'd go for it. So just a little bit higher.
A little bit higher than that. All right, let's see. The actual number of inmates who said if they were given the perfect opportunity to escape, they would make a break for it is 22. It is not higher. All right, so Kevin, you give control of the card, sir. I'm going to show you both the base cards, and then you have the option if you want to play it or pass. Let's start by looking at Lawrence's base card first. It's a jack. And your base card is a 3. Yeah,
I'll go for it.
You're going to play? All right, do you want to keep the 3?
Yes, please.
All right, call both cards correct. You remain as champion. 1 mistake, and Lawrence becomes our new champion.
I will obviously lead off by going higher.
All right, higher than the 3. It's an ace.
Good game, Lawrence. Bye-bye. Lower.
For the game and the match, lower than the ace. It's an 8, and Kevin's done it again. Well done. Congratulations, Kevin. You're up to $18,000. Give you a chance to play the money cards in just a minute. Lawrence, we thank you for playing. You're going to leave us here with $500 and our nice parting gifts as well. Thank you so much. All right, Kevin's got $18,000. We're going to see if we can add some more on the money cards right after this. Stay with us. Welcome back here to Card Sharks. Kevin has managed to pick up his 2nd win as champion here. Another $1,000 for him. He's up to $18,000, and now he's going to get another chance to go for the big money here on the money cards. You ready to go, sir?
Buckeyes reign supreme once again. Now let's go for the extra point.
Let's see if we can do it. Here we go. Let's deal out those cards. Give you $200 for betting money. And I wish you best of luck, sir. Let's get you started. Your base card is a queen.
All of it lower.
Betting the farm, 200 lower than the queen. It's a 10, up to 400.
Change it with number 1, please.
Change it with card number 1. That 10 now becomes a king.
All of it lower.
Betting it all, $400 lower than the king. It's a 10. Great change for you there. $800.
What the hell? All of it lower.
He's going for the gusto. All of it lower than the 10. Oh no!
Well, look what I got.
You lose the money there, but you pick up a great card. We're going to move that ace up to the next row, give you the other $400 in betting money. You're still in the game, sir, with $400 and a card you can't lose on.
That's a fine trade, wouldn't you agree?
I'd have bet less, though, personally, but that's me.
All of it lower.
Going it all, $400 lower than the ace. It's a jack. We have jack at 800.
700 lower.
How much?
700.
Okay, $700. Lower than the jack. It's a 6. $1,500.
Change it with number 2, please.
Change it with card number 2. Let's see if this is going to be a good change. That 6 now becomes a 5. A little bit better.
1,000 higher.
Big bet on the 5. $1,000. Higher than the 5. Oh, it's another 5. It's a push. No win, no
That's
loss
okay.
on a push there. So you still have $1,500. We're going to bump that up to the big bet card. You have a 5 and $1,500. Do you want to change it?
I would, please, yes.
All right, important change here on this 5. The 5 now becomes, an 8 right up the middle. You have $1,500, so you must bet at least $750 on this card.
I will go. Save me $500. $1,000 lower.
Okay, you'll either finish with $500 or $2,500. $1,000 lower than the 8. No, it's a jack.
That's okay.
That's a tough break there. All right, so you finish this one with $500 in cash. And when we add that to what you've won, sir, you now have a grand total now of $18,500.
Thank you very much.
And most importantly, though, you are still champion here on Card Sharks, and we'll have you back next time here. Hopefully to defend your championship once again. And folks, that's going to wrap it up for us on this episode of Card Sharks. We thank you so much for watching. Remember, if you like the series and want to see more of it, check out the first season here on the playlist on the channel. If you want to see other great game shows we've done past, present, and future, click that subscribe button down below and ring the bell. That way you never miss out on all the fun and games going down here at MVG Productions. And until the cards are dealt out and we play some more Card Sharks, I'm your host, Brandon Scruggs, saying thank you so much for watching, and we will see you all next time. Take care. Bye for now. This is your announcer, Michael Gentry, speaking for Card Sharks, an MVG Productions presentation.